Hey you guys, and thank you for tuning in. If this is your first time being on my channel, I appreciate you just watching this video. So this video is very serious, obviously. This is no laughing matter, so I'm gonna get right into it. I'm not looking to make this video long, nor am I looking for, anything out of this video. I'm just strictly making this video because I feel like it's time for me to share the story. It's been something that's been long overdue in my mind, but I didn't know how to tackle the subject, and so I'm gonna get right into it. All right, y'all. So this happened about 3 years ago. I was with my son, and I was in a parking garage going inside of a certain store. So you know how they have those long parking garages, and you pretty much you kind of sort of have to walk a little bit of a distance to get to the store because it's like a community garage. Okay, so I got out of my car and I got my son out of the car seat, and my son was just sort of walking at the time. He was walking, but he wasn't like perfectly solid. So, and I was just walking with him, and then so we're walking to the store. We're going to get those carts, those special little carts that they have that have the little cars in them, because my son is like obsessed with cars. And there was this truck that started following us. It was like, I will never forget this. It was like a gray Ford pickup truck, or silver, whatever. I don't really know my colors, but it was like a gray Ford pickup truck, and it started following us. It was a loud truck. So at first I thought we were just in the way or something, right? So we're walking, and I'm like bearing more to the right side because I figured the truck wanted to like pass us. So I'm like trying to go in like where the cars are and try to get as close as possible to the other cars to the other side of the street, so that we could avoid this truck, so that if we wanted to go, it could just keep going its merry way. And so I'm walking, not paying much mind, and I'm sort of like holding my son by the hand. He walks a little slow when kids are just sort of learning how to walk. So I'm holding on to him, walking real slow, and the truck keeps getting closer to me. And there was a certain moment I could smell, like, I don't know if the exhaust or whatever, fumes from that truck. It was just getting that close to me, and it was so scary, you guys. And I watch like Criminal Minds, and I watch all these little crazy shows, and Fatal Encounters, and First 48s, and I was just like thinking, okay, what is this truck doing? You could just completely pass us. There's no reason why you're so close to us. There's no reason why you're like literally like this. And then so I started to sort of panic. And my son could sense it, because little kids can sense when you're sort of freaking out. So he starts like crying and stuff, and it was like the longest walk to the front of the store. And so I pick up my son, and I look back for a minute. Like, I'm looking back because this truck is literally stopped. When I stop, the truck stops, and I'm looking back, and there was like this guy in the truck, and I could barely sort of see him. I don't know if my vision just got like really cloudy because I was really worried. I could barely see him. He was in his truck, and he was just looking at us, and he had on like sunglasses and stuff. And I didn't know what to say. So I looked at him, and he stopped his car, and I thought he was gonna get out or something. So I pull out my phone, and I'm like thinking I'm gonna call the police. So this is when it gets really bad, because I pull out my phone, and I'm thinking I'm gonna call the police. This guy is clearly harassing us. So I pull out my phone, and like, I guess my phone had like 1% or something. It just dies. So at this point, I'm like, okay, this is really weird. So I start to sort of, walking a little faster with this thing, and the truck just keeps getting closer and closer and closer. And I don't know how to explain it. Like, tears just started coming out of my eyes, and I just started to panic, because like at this point my son is screaming, my son is crying, because he realizes something is really wrong. And this guy's like, in his car, and he just would not let go, and he just kept coming closer, closer. And by the grace of God, there was this woman in her car who's watching the whole thing. And this is like the weirdest thing ever. There's a woman in her car who is like watching the whole thing, and she screams out, "I'm calling the police." Excuse me. So she screams out, "I'm calling the police." Like, I'm calling the police. So I mean, at that point, I'm thinking, okay, somebody, thank goodness, someone saw something or whatever this and that. And this guy literally like starts driving past. He starts to like drive off past me, and he slurs a really nasty word at me, and then he just drives off. It was like, I mean, I had mixed emotions at that moment, because I was just thinking, thank goodness for this woman. You know, what would have happened if this woman was not there? What would have happened had this person not said, "I'm calling the police right now"? And thankfully, she did call the police, and she was able to give them much more information than I could have given them. And it was like the worst thing ever, because I didn't even know. I was just so worried about my son, and I was just so worried about, you know, coming home and just, you know, my family. It was tragic. It was, I never thought someone that I didn't know or didn't know me would try to tackle on my life like that. And there were no words for it. And this stuff traumatized me for a long time, because I kept thinking to myself, what would have happened if that woman was not there? You know, what was this guy going to do to us? What was going to happen? And of course, that night I hugged my son a little tighter. But that woman, I thanked her at the scene. And when the police came, obviously they got a statement from me. I waited for the police, and they got a statement from me. And I just, I cried that night. I really did. I cried, because all I could think about was, what if that woman wasn't there? Okay, so I was just so grateful to God that there was someone who was willing to say something, because that guy could have had a gun. He could have shot at her. She took a risk, and she spoke up, and she said something, and she did something, and that probably saved my life. And so for that, I'm like forever grateful to this woman. I don't know her, and she doesn't know me, and this was completely random, and I thanked her at the time, and I wish I just had the opportunity to thank her all over again, because that whole experience has traumatized me. But I'm not afraid anymore, and I'm not that person who is like afraid anymore. I'm not afraid, and this is what I'm talking about now. I'm no longer afraid. That I felt like that whole experience almost crippled me for like a few days, where I did not want to go anywhere, where I was worried. I was afraid that someone had this personal vendetta out there for me. And I don't know what this guy's motive was. The woman told the police that she believed he pursued me because of my religious garb. I can't say that's what it was. I don't dispute that, because there was no reason for him to follow me like that. There was no reason for him to taunt us like that. And to do that while I had a child that was so small, I think was just very malicious. So she probably will never find this video, and I probably will never see her again, because I don't live in that area anymore. But I am so grateful for that woman, and she just saved my life. Okay, y'all, so this is my video for Talks with Aisha today. I thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Thank you. Bye.